You're listening to the Wheeler's Dog Podcast. This is episode 49. Hey, and welcome to the Wheeler's Dog Podcast. I'm Eugene B. Sims, and thanks again for tuning in, taking a listen. I do appreciate you allowing me to waste some of the precious time that we're given here in life. You know, you never know how long it is, but I really find it astounding that you'd want to waste your precious time listening to this podcast. So hopefully you're doing it while commuting to work, maybe working out, exercising, or as Trev Allen once said, doing household chores. So yes, if that makes life a little bit enjoyable, you know, where you've got to do something that has to be done, nobody else is going to do it unless you pay them. But if this podcast helps you through anything like that, right on. I'm doing my job as a fellow human being. And speaking of doing my job like any human being would, I actually I just see a response. My wife's cousin next door, Randy, he cleans cars. And so he's retiring and stuff like that. And for some reason, I just felt like picking on him today and you know, playing a little joke. Maybe picking, not so much. I sent him a text message from the Wheeler's Dog Speak Line, 336-422-6006. I said, hey, mofo, this is Larry. Some asshole told me you clean a car like a big dick some bitch fucking my wife. I need my damn car clean. How you with blood? He just responded back, retired, don't clean cars. So, yes. How should I put that? Maybe I'll let it sit and gestate. Anyway, again, thanks for checking the podcast out. And, man, I got to looking around the house today. Let me tell you, we're being overrun with tomatoes. I posted a picture on the Wheeler's Dog Facebook page, and we are just being overrun with tomatoes. I don't even eat the damn things. My wife is started giving them away. She made a neighbor take a couple of them this morning, and I think she was slipping more tomatoes into his pockets. I hope he didn't burst them while driving. But we've got them everywhere. You know, she's got all these tomato plants. When planting season started, she had eggshells, and she's planting them, the little seeds in the dirt, you know, so they'll go shoosting towards the sky. And that's a Green Acres thing, in case you didn't know. And so she's growing these things, and then she's transplanting the pots, and even had a cooler that, you know, we can't use anymore, but she used it to grow tomato plants. And then, you know, if it was a cool night, frost warning, whatever, she would just shut the lid on them. And I'm like, baby, you know those plants got to breathe, right? She's like, oh, they don't breathe that much. I was like, yes. I said, you got to let them breathe. I said, what if somebody stuck you in a cooler overnight? You know, you've got to breathe air. These guys, you know, they breathe something else like helium or carbon dioxide or oxide or, you know, some of that stuff. Aluminum foil. That's what they breathe. So she didn't care. She threw caution to the wind, just shut them up. But then she was out there the next morning, you know, waking them up, lifting the lid, petting them. Because she's serious about raising tomatoes. I don't get it. There's tomatoes in this little garden area in the backyard, and there's a big circle. It's circled with big rocks. And there was a tree. That was the focal point, but the thing died and eventually had to be chopped down, taken out. And so she's using it now for tomatoes. And then she put tomato plants around the pool. And now there's some over by the tractor shed. She's got tomatoes just growing up in this tiny little tract there in front of the the tractor shed. Yeah, I was out bounce around in the pool in my new ski water vest. Floating around like a big old watermelon, having a good time. And there was like this odor. I mean, just, it smelled like hot, sweaty August ass. It was nasty. And I'm like, man. Now, the neighbor next door, he's a small farmer. And he does everything, it's, organically. Everything is organic. He also grows some hemp for CBD oil. He does that. Provision farms. He also processes chickens and pork and all that stuff. And, it's small scale. As a matter of fact, I think we got a chicken or two in our deep freezer here. I'm not sure. I think we ate them. I thought maybe that was the deal, stinking up the air. But no, it was not. When I asked Chigs about it, she's like, oh, well, that's that fertilizer I put out. And I was like, what? Yeah, I fertilized all my tomato plants with it. It's made out of like bone meal and chicken feathers and, stuff that's ground up into a powder. I don't know exactly what she said. It was something along those lines. All I knew was it stunk. Terrible. And she said, it'll be fine once it rains. And of course, we were in a bit of a spell where we didn't have rain for a week. Finally, she got out the water hose and watered the plants because of no rain. Because she cares about those tomatoes. And so finally the smell just calmed down. Whew, gosh. And I thought maybe it was drawing flies. I mean, we had all kinds of flies going on. It was terrible. But now there's tomatoes everywhere. They're on the counter. They're in bowls. I mean, they're everywhere. I don't like them. Don't eat them. And for some reason, she's got like 6 pie shells. She had me pick up at the grocery store because she's making tomato pies. If you're a northerner, maybe you don't understand what that means. But here in the South, people will put tomatoes in anything. They'll make desserts out of them. Yeah, imagine that, tomato pies.
If you like irrational conversations with the cool breezes of Anytown, USA, listen to the Schlub Resonance in Apartment 5B, Bicker and Moan on the Apartment 5B podcast. Available everywhere you find podcasts and at tldpodnetwork.com.
And just last week, Friday as a matter of fact, I had to return to the doctor. She wanted me to come back in 2 months to see how my enzymes were doing. I'm talking about my liver enzymes. Apparently, I've got something going on with it. The enzymes are a little high. My blood tastes fine to me. I don't understand what the problem is. She seems to believe that I'm drinking too much. Now, granted, I will say this. Chigs and I were just talking about it outside by the pool. We're just talking about it as we're sucking down beer. And we did not drink this much until we moved here. And I'm talking about Jim and Bate. I mean, they can drink. There's people they can put under the table. Hell, they've put me under the table before. And I'm a pretty big boy. I thought I could handle some alcohol, but these guys set me straight. And, how they're not having all kinds of issues with their liver is beyond me. Because, you can go up to them and just tap them right there, just below the sternum. And that liver, it sounds like you're tapping a stainless steel wash basin. That's what it sounds like. Half empty. Tink, tink, tink. That's what their liver sounds like. I mean, you can just tap it. So it's got to be made of iron, something. I don't know. Maybe it's in the water here in Davidson County, with Davidson County water. But man, so I'm worried about that. Well, I'm not really worried about it, to be honest with you. Chigs is more worried about it than I am. I just got to lose weight. And who knows, if I have to stop drinking, I'll stop drinking. It's not that big a deal. I'll miss it. I will miss it. But I will still try beers in the sense that I will take a taste of them, swish them around and spit them out and not drink them. Just so I can taste it. Because, I do enjoy the taste of beer. It used to kill me. My mother all the time, like, I just don't understand it. It just tastes horrible. I don't know why anybody would want to drink it. They just want to drink it to get drunk. And yes, a lot of people do. And I have done it. Yes, I've done that many times. But the thing is, I don't do it anymore. I like the taste of craft beer. You know, once I got about, 30, I started dabbling in craft beers. You know, Red Oak, Humminbird, Battlefield, all those beers that Red Oak and Spring Garden Brewery were putting out. That stuff was awesome. Loved it. And I did not go to the Loggerhead place that used to be in Greensboro. I think it was off Pinehurst and Holden, somewhere around there in southern Greensboro. I went by the restaurant many times because Peaches was close to it. Peaches 36, 4217 High Point Road. Don't bother looking for it. But the thing is, I never went. Never went. Wanted to many times, but just never went. Oh, that was actually late 80s, I think. But yeah, I started drinking more craft beers and dabbling in the foreigns. You think you're really stepping out on the limb having a Heineken, you know what I mean? I'm taking a swig of Yuengling Golden Pilsner. And yes, I'm drinking beer, even though I know it could be a bad thing for my liver. But until I get the news, I'm going to drink. So, yeah, don't fight me on it. The other thing I went in for, I'm getting older. I am falling apart. It's crazy. Arthritis in my knee, that's killing me. My Achilles tendon in my right foot has been acting up for nearly 2 months now. Got to do something with that. It was no fun going to the doctor. But I will say this. I'm getting better at it now because this is 2 months in a row that I've had BP checked and blood drawn. Or as I like to say, siphoned off. I'm siphoned off. Even though I'm only getting like one little vial. But I just don't like it. No one really does. I mean, I'm not alone in that. It's not like I'm making a controversial statement at all. But the thing is, normally the machine cuff, the thing that just squeezes you like some horror movie python, just you just want to stop it. You want to puncture it or something to get it to quit. That's how it just squeezes your arm. I just went in with the mindset, okay, I'm just going to relax and breathe deep. And hey, it didn't show up high the first time around. Usually it does, and they want to take it a little bit later, and it calms down. It drops like, 30 degrees. And they're cool. They let me leave the building without, an ambulance. But the thing is, I hate those things. I passed with flying colors. I don't remember what it was. It was like 240 over 73. No. Let me be truthful. It was like 148 over 32, 52. I don't know. All I ask is, was that good? And she's like, it's great. Because here's the thing. I don't understand the blood pressure thing. Just come up with a scale. 1 to 10. That's it. If you're about a 5, you got to make some changes. Maybe even start making changes when you're at 7. Just put it in that terms. Just give us a 1 to 10 scale. Something I can understand. Hey, your blood pressure's a 10. Congratulations. That I get. When you start throwing out these numbers like 152 over 75, I don't know what the hell that means. That means nothing to me. I remember back in 8th grade, Mrs. McDaniel's biology, we had to do blood pressure, take blood pressure with, a stethoscope and the pump up thing and the cuff. Oh, man. I had no idea what I was doing. Even though I sat in through the class, I don't know if it just didn't hold my interest, because it doesn't really hold my interest. Just give me something easy to understand. And I didn't know how to read it. I didn't know what was going on. And so I'm up there in front of the class, and she's making everybody do it one by one. Some other guy, he didn't understand it either. I forgot what his response was, but it was funny. I wish I could remember it. But I got up there and I said, it's 7 over 11. A few people in the class gave me some laughter, but I had no idea what I was doing. And she's like, well, what is it? I was like, I don't know. Have a seat, Mr. Sims. So I got like, whatever little grade that I got, like an F. I probably got an F. That moment right there. But yeah, I just don't really get it myself. But hopefully everything is calming down. I got some salve, some cream, something to rub on my knee where the arthritis is. And for some reason, it really gets the attention of the dogs. They like immediately go up to it and want to lick it. And, in the warnings it says, if you're pregnant, it's bad for you. And there's like a list of things of people that shouldn't even touch it. Pregnant women especially. So apparently it attacks the fetus immediately. As soon as the lady touches it, it gets in the skin, gets into the capillaries, makes its way into the major bloodstream, in through the heart. Baby gets a little taste of it. Dead baby.
You want extra episodes of the Wheeler's Dog Podcast? Of course you do. No one in their right mind would pass up an opportunity to get a bonus episode every week. Not every once in a while, but one every week. Just go to patreon.com/WheelersDog and get into the dog share for just $4. $4 every month unlocks all the audio. You can even listen with the Patreon app for tablets and smartphones. Patreon.com/WheelersDog to contribute. It's the best gift that you could ever give yourself, really. Maybe.
The Wheeler's Dog Speak Line, 336-422-6006. 336-422-6006. We've got a call.
Will, this is Jeff with John Struck. I sent you a text message to see if I can get a check for $164 for the unloading fee up here in Portland, Oregon.
And is anyone as confused as I am about that call? I don't know what that was about. I guess maybe he just got a wrong number, but then what could he be unloading in Portland, Oregon? I haven't really thought about it, and I don't think I'm going to give too much thought about it. But hey, if you'd like to be part of the show, just like this guy who has no idea that he's on part of the podcast, give the Wheeler's Dog Speak Line a call, 336-422-6006. You can even send a text message, like I've been having fun with my wife's cousin Randy, who lives next door. I still haven't come up with a good reply, but I'll give it a shot. Hey, everybody, thanks again for listening to the podcast. And, before I get out of here, I got to say, we're coming up on the 50th podcast that I'm recording. Now, I think that's pretty damn cool. Looks like I have a little stick-to-itness to it. And I'm going to make 50 open to everybody. Because, hey, why not? And then I'll just make 51 a bonus episode. So, actually, I'll be cutting 3 podcasts this week. The 50th, I think that's a nice little milestone. I'll probably do it at 100. I want to kind of make 50 kind of special. My sister Tina just recently turned 50, and she reminded me of a story. When she turned 30, she was distraught, and I couldn't make her birthday celebration because I had second row seats to Monday Night Raw. So I remember what was happening. Booker T was in a match with some other dude, and things spilled out of the ring onto the floor. I was right there, front row. No, front row, second row, excuse me. And I held up a sign that says, "Happy Birthday, Tina." So that was my birthday present, putting her name out there on national television. Happy birthday, Tina. Right there is Booker T is laying the smack down on, I don't know, some jabroni. I don't remember who it was, to be honest with you. Oh well, I think it's on YouTube somewhere. Anyway, this is kind of short. I didn't realize that I was just zipping right through this podcast. All my subjects. Yeah, the tomatoes, screwing over with Randy, the liver issues, the Achilles. I'll be glad when that Achilles finally settles down. Let me tell you, I bought 2 pairs of shoes with better support. I used to wear hiking boots all the time, and that must have really helped. I went back to get another pair, and also got a good pair of like black running shoes. Not really running shoes. I think they're more like walking shoes. Some Nikes. Yes, I got Nikes. Can't wait for somebody like, yeah, Nike, I boycotted them. People take a knee and Nike supports. Really? No, I don't care. And by the way, if anybody wants to kneel during the national anthem, my personal feelings is knock yourself out. Obviously, you're showing me how to solve this problem by taking a knee. And the only people that really care are the people that hate him for doing it. And I'm talking about Kaepernick. I don't play that game. I don't really care what anybody does. So, anyway, enough of that political stuff. Don't want to talk about that. Don't want to get into that because this is why we go to funny podcasts, to get away from that sort of thing. All the jackasses on social media, the conspiracy theory people, especially the ones that say, oh, this virus, it'll all be gone after the election. Yes, and they say it as if they're totally serious. They have bought into this. I'm sorry, I keep talking about it. I'm done. Thank you for listening. I'm cutting this a little short. Actually, it's being Sunday. It's a nice breezy day. Even though it's still kind of hot and sunny, it's a nice breezy day, and it's a nice day to be out in the pool with my wife listening to some of the Big House Mix on Spotify. Folks, we'll see you a little bit later for the 50th. People will put tomatoes in anything. They'll make desserts out of them. Yeah, imagine that, tomato pies.